Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we have a very special guest. This is Marissa Conrad, everyone, and I don't know if some of you who follow my channel have also seen some of her work on Instagram. I feel like I've featured your work at least a couple times on Instagram. Well, go ahead, introduce.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I am an artist and a heart patient and a very good friend of Jennifer's through finding her on YouTube.
Yes, and it's so funny because I've met so many people through my YouTube channel, just online, some amazing people, and Marissa is one of them. Shout out to Rebecca and Blue.
Rebecca, yes, Rebecca.
And there's a few others of you guys, you know who you are online. For those of you who don't know, like a long time ago, I think I featured a couple of art videos on my channel. I used to be really into drawing, and just over the years, it's kind of one of those things that I haven't really picked back up. Like I'll get the mojo to do it, and then like I'll fade back. I don't know. Life gets busy, but I'm still saying I'm gonna get into art again, but we'll see. It's all talk for right now. But Marissa actually does draw and does do a lot of Disney art, and I'm gonna feature some of her art. You'll be able to see it on the screen there. But, and I'll also leave a link to her Instagram account in the description box below in case you want to go check out more of her artwork. Do you draw people for, like, can people pay you to draw them?
I do commissions, where I do you as like a cartoon with one of your favorite Disney characters.
Oh, I love that. I'm trying to think, how did our friendship get started from this YouTube channel? Do you remember reaching out to me?
Well, this all goes back to my love of Jasmine. That's how I found you. Just because I had always liked Jasmine, so I was on YouTube searching for, Jasmine related stuff, and you came up. And,
was it the first confessions video with Rachel?
Yeah, that's the first one I had seen. And I think, or what? No, it may have been your collection video, something.
Oh, okay, the Jasmine collection.
Yeah. By the way, if we did mine, it would be like all day. Anyway, so, and it's gonna be worse in 2 months. So anyway, so that's how I originally found you, and and then you opened a PO box later on, and I'm like, okay. I've never sent fan mail before, but let's give this a shot. And I asked you to sign it and send me a copy back. And it is still hanging on my wall. Along with the one I got signed in Disney that I showed you when we met up.
That's right. I met you at the Irish pub place in...
Yep. My grandma was so excited because you sat next to her.
Okay. She's so sweet. Marissa has one of the sweetest grandmas you'll ever meet. So I feel like that's kind of how I connected with you, was through art.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I talk to a lot of people, but I don't always become like besties with a lot of people. Not that I wouldn't under other circumstances, but...
There was a little cat hair flying around, sorry.
Oh, okay. I feel like I didn't know that much about your heart condition when I initially met you. And do you mind if we kind of go into your heart condition?
Yeah,
or like...
I am a very open person when it comes to this. I was born with a AV septal defect, which is a valve problem. And the left side of my heart was smaller to begin with. So they replaced the valve when I was a couple months old. Then I also had 2 holes when I was born, which is not uncommon. That's a very common thing that they go in and fix. But that was also added to there. The valve was fine for 15 years, which they said it would only last 10 before I needed a replacement. But being that I didn't get real big, I didn't grow like a normal person. I mean, I'm only 4'6", or not 4, I'm 4'11", so I didn't really grow a whole lot. So the valve lasted much longer than they originally thought. Then in 2013, I got the replacement. And I was only supposed to have a replacement. I was never supposed to have a transplant. And what happened was the surgeon, whatever, was trying to do us a favor by not having me have any more surgeries, by putting a bigger valve in, thinking I was going to grow more. It ended up being too big for me and destroying basically half my heart. So it wasn't necessary, it was just a mistake that he thought he was doing something helpful and it didn't go well. So then that's when transplant came into the picture.
I remember you telling me that you needed a heart transplant. It felt like waiting. And I say we were waiting, but you know, you're obviously feeling it a lot more than I ever did.
I was honestly, like, for the first few months of being on the list, every time I heard a little beep or noise from the phone, I panicked.
Because you thought it was your heart coming in, your new heart?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not. Like, are you ever really ready for that? Probably not. You know? But I got the call and you were there. You were able to call me that night.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how grateful I was for that.
I was happy to be there. It was so random that I happened to be with you that night.
Everything worked out how it should have. Nobody was sick. Nobody had anywhere to be. Everybody was there. It was, and the date was oddly perfect. It was 8/8/18. So, you know, it all perfectly worked out.
Now, let's talk about how Disney came into your life and how they've had an effect, because you were part of Make-A-Wish Foundation, weren't you?
Yeah, when I was about 8.
Let's talk about Aladdin and why it was significant to you and all of that stuff.
It started with my sister. It was her favorite, and she originally watched it with me.
Wait, it was whose favorite?
My sister. So later on, it just reminded me of her and some good memories we had together. So that's kind of how it started. And then with Make-A-Wish, I did have Make-A-Wish. I went to California Disneyland and Universal. And I had a personal meet and greet with Mickey. But the significance with Aladdin with that was they put me in an Aladdin themed room. And that's what we watched. And then they had me write a letter to Genie. When I post Jasmine artwork, you know, you tag people that are related to the character. So I would always tag Linda Larkin and like Karen David, who did it in Once Upon a Time, and Courtney Reed, who does it on Broadway. And a couple of them have gotten back and liked it and commented. Linda has commented on, I think, 2 or 3 of them. So there's just a connection with Jasmine that's never going away. And then I found out Linda was going to be at a Comic-Con type thing right by my friend in Texas. And I messaged her. I said, listen, I can't travel with outside of 2 hours or 4 hours. Can you get me an autograph? And she's like, yeah, if you send down what you want, yeah, I can do that. And so I did a drawing, one for me, one for Linda. Yes, she has an original of mine. And and then she got mine signed and sent it back to me. So that is in my room, along with yours. After transplant, the very first thing we did, my mom had tickets to go see Aladdin while it was here in Pittsburgh for the 1st of September. Now my transplant was on the 8th. Normally you're in the hospital for a month.
Wow.
I was in for 2 weeks. Other than my heart, I was pretty healthy going in. And let's face it, I didn't want to stay in ICU. So I got up. And my mom had gotten a private viewing area for the show because she knew I couldn't get sick. This was before transplant. I still couldn't get sick because if I was sick, I couldn't get it. So she had this private viewing booth for the show. And we'd asked my doctor. Now, remember, this is like 3 weeks after. And he's like, well, I said you couldn't go anywhere. But being that you have an enclosed area for you guys, I don't see the problem with it. That was the first thing I did afterwards, was go see Aladdin. So that was really special.
Yeah.
And it was just my mom and my grandma and me, and the 3 of us have been through everything together.
I have to say, like, I really admire your strength and courage and everything you've had to go through from so young into your, well, how old are you now? You're in your early 20s?
21.
21. 21, you have been through so much more than I ever went through when I was, you know, your age.
I gotta admit, growing up in like elementary school through middle school, I never really had a problem because the valve was working for the most part. My childhood and like middle school was somewhat normal except for kids being mean. Because this is something, Jennifer, you might not even quite know. I am 2 inches shorter on the entire left side of my body, outside and inside. So it's like something, my mom got really sick when she was pregnant with me and it affected that. That had nothing to do with the heart. It was something else. And so, like, kids saw, I wear a shoe lift, I think you know that. And they would comment on it, and the fact that I was so small, you know, I was always shorter than everybody. And, you know, even later on when I started having issues in, like, gym class, because the end of middle school is when my heart really started to get bad from the valve, the one I had since I was born. You know, I started getting tired in gym class, and a lot of kids thought I was just wanting to get out of it. And I think, like, when you mention about bullying on the channel and in general, I think one problem with everything is people don't understand issues. And I think in, like, health class, if in health class you focused less on, like, not that drugs and stuff aren't important to mention. I'm not saying that. But if you did a section on them and then a section on different types of diseases like Down syndrome and heart disease and cancer, you know, all those, and explain some things that can happen with it, you know, I think that would cut down on a lot of disabled people getting picked on for stuff they can't help.
Right. Oh, which reminds me, disabled princesses. We were talking about that. Which one is the disabled princess?
Ariel.
Ariel. And Ariel is disabled because, go off on that tangent.
Well, she wasn't in the beginning, but, you know, she couldn't speak in half the film, and she had issues walking, and Eric is one of my favorite princes because I always loved him because he was so willing to help her. I'm like, I want a guy like that is like so understanding and just willing to, you know, help. Like, nobody does that.
Just the fact that he looked past that. That
Yes.
didn't even bother him at all.
No. And I feel like that's how more people should be. And like right now, I have to wear a mask for 6 months out. And I've already gotten people that go the other way because people aren't educated. Back to this point. They think the only reason you wear a mask is either you have cancer, which they don't think with me because I have all my hair. Not that that's always a telltale sign, but...
You mean the mask like what I see a lot of Japanese people wearing?
By the way, I'm a little bit of Aurora. I have a pink and a blue one. So, anyway. I do an Aurora every day. I'm like, should I wear the pink or the blue? Anyway, so, you know, people either think you have cancer or you're contagious to them. And it's like, no, there are tons of reasons why people wear them. And for me, it's called all of you people are sick, not me. So, you know, I can't get what they have because I can't get a flu shot yet. Overall, if you tell people why you're wearing it, they're usually really happy. They're like, oh, congratulations, you know. Some people can be rude, you know. But luckily I have a little brother that stands up for me and goes and yells at them in public. So, yeah, that's for 6 months. So, yeah, it's probably the worst, like, not the worst thing about transplant, but it's the most annoying. Because you just want to be able to go out and not have to grab one and wear it. But let me tell you, because mine's during winter, it helps keep my whole face nice and warm. I do have to say that. Like, my nose is never cold anymore outside. So that's a plus. Look for the pluses, people, if you have a disability. Look for them.
That's awesome advice. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and close this video. Comment below if you have any questions for Marissa. And I hope you enjoyed meeting Marissa. She's been one of my most favorite people that I have met through my YouTube channel. Please be sure to go check out her artwork. If you want her, is, how would you say it, if you want to commission her, or if you want her to commission your work?
Yeah, and I also have stuff available in my shop.
Yes, so she sells stuff, and I'll put links below in the description box. So thank you guys so much for connecting with us. We hope you have a great week, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
All right,
Bye.
bye everyone.